Hi, my name's Anthony. I'm a PGA professional, and punters have asked me to try out their 2 new irons against my own to see how good these are and who they're suited for. So I've got the P1 iron, which is a game improvement iron. I've got the P2, which is a player's cavity back, and we're going to put it up to the test against my blade to see who these are for and what they're going to do. We're going to start the test with the P1. Now, punters are saying this is a game improvement iron. What that means is it's a hollow head, it's a lighter head design, it's a bigger head design. It's got a little bit less loft than a traditional 7 iron. It's really light. What that means is it's going to offer you more club head speed and a bit more launch and a bit more forgiveness across the face. So it's got a large head and it's designed for being able to be hit anywhere across the face and to be able to straighten the ball up a bit more. So a bit more distance, a bit more forgiveness is pretty much what they're aiming for with this P1. So I've got the Punters P1 7 iron. Feels like a marshmallow, it's awesome. Yeah, great. So I've just been hitting my own clubs to get warmed up, but that's my first hit with the P1. Immediately a 7 iron is carried 172 meters at 87 miles an hour club head speed. So I usually carry it about 160 something, just a tick over 160 with a 7 iron. So that's automatically given me about 10 more meters of carry. I usually hit it with about 25 meters of height. I'd like a little bit more, but that's around where I hit it normally. And then club speed is somewhere around 87, 88. So the same amount of club head speed with my own 7 irons that I'm seeing. And I'm hitting it about 10 meters further straight off the bat. So 87 miles an hour club head speed's a little bit fast for your beginners or ladies or older people or kids even. So what that just means with the P1 is if you have a slower swing speed, you're generally going to get a little bit more carry, which means you don't have to try and swing it really hard to try and hit it as far as you can. You just have to swing it smooth and the club's going to do a lot of the work for you. So it's good to see if I'm going to get that much distance, that's going to help a lot of people out. I'm just going to hit a few more with this P1 to make sure that's not just a one-off, and we'll get some average numbers. It's actually a good sign that I hit it out of the toe a bit. It's still going relatively straight, a little bit of a push, but still got a good carry number for the same amount of swing speed. So yeah, pretty good. It's actually a good point, right? So the idea is it's supposed to be a little bit more forgiving across the face. That's a good test. I'm going to try and hit one out of the heel a little bit and see what that gives me as well. Yeah, that's cool. So 84, you can see the club head speed's dropped by 4 miles an hour. I hit it out of the heel, a little bit about there, and it's still carried 162 meters. So a little bit less than if you middle it, but obviously that's the same with most clubs. The main thing to look at is where it's gone. It's gone relatively straight considering I hit it out of there. Usually if you hit it out of the heel with a more player's club, you're gonna get the ball go off in all sorts of different directions, usually right. So that's a good sign. So we'll try and hit it out of the middle of the face again and see what it does. That was nuked. That was good. Yeah, it's good. That's giving me a bit of consistency too. So it's around that 87, 88 mile an hour swing speed. That carries are on the high end of 160. And my height's the same as I get with my normal 7 iron anyway, around 23, 24 meters. So that's exactly what I'd see from mine, just a little bit better distance. And if you have a look at the tracer, it's pretty straight. I hit it with a little bit of a fade anyway, so I can see the same fade, same everything, just toned in a little bit. So I've just hit about 10 shots with the P1. Overall, it's very consistent. It's carrying maybe 5 to 10 meters on average further than my own 7 iron. It's going at the exact same height with the exact same club speed. So yeah, obviously it's got less loft than a traditional 7 iron. So my 7 iron's 35 degrees of loft, which is about traditional. The P1's loft is 29 degrees, so a lot less. But you can see because the height's roughly the same, it has the same characteristics of ball flight as I would see with mine, which is a great sign. And here's the P1 over the golf ball. You can see it's a slightly bigger club head, a bit longer from toe to heel, and it's just a nice inviting shape with a little bit of offset to help you get the ball in the air. So the P1's aimed at your beginner golfers, potentially ladies, older people, kids. There's a lot of people that are going to benefit from using the P1 iron as a game improvement iron. So next up, I've got the Punters P2 iron. Now this is a player's cavity back, and what that means is it's somewhere in between like a blade and the game improvement iron. This is designed for players anywhere from like a 0 to a 15 handicap. It's going to offer you the perfect mix of forgiveness and workability while still maintaining a semi-compact shape. So it's not like a massive club head behind the ball. It looks really nice. When I put it behind the ball, it's not super small, it's not super big, it's just a nice size behind the ball. The Punters P2 iron has 31 degrees of loft, so it's less loft than my own iron and a little bit more loft than the P1 iron. It's just that perfect middle ground. So we'll hit this one and see what this one does as well. That felt good. Yeah, that's cool. A little bit more height than I normally used to, but that fade probably says it was an open face, so it's good. That's great. Yeah, so that one there's probably what I'd like to normally see from a carry for a 7-iron, around that 162 to 165 mark. So the height is the same as what I'd see from my 7-iron, about 25 meters of peak height, and then club speed's around the same, 88, 89 miles an hour. So that's probably more like what I'd be used to seeing, probably with just a bit more forgiveness as well. I don't think I hit that one amazing, but it's just going to give you a really good result. So it feels really good, looks really good. As you can see, it's a good shape and a good size behind the golf ball. It's not a really big club head and it's not super small that it's really intimidating. It's just a good middle ground. You can see the leading edge is nice and thin, but not really thin. It's just a good size. So these aren't blades. They're not designed for maximum workability. They're not designed to give you the most amount of spin. They're just a good middle ground for a lot of good to really good players. So yeah, a lot of good players could use this as well. Punters have done a really good job with their shaft selection. So you can get these with KBS shafts, which is what you'll see a lot on tour. This one here is a 120 stiff. You can get these in regular or extra stiff. It's just a good choice in shaft. A lot of good players use these. So just to look at both clubs in hand from a design perspective, you can see the P1 has this tungsten weight in here. So that is allowing you to change exactly how the club is weighted and where. The P1 has a little bit of a similar setup here with a bit of weighting in the longer irons. And we can have a look at the sole. So the P1 has a slightly thicker sole, a bit more forgiveness. And then the P2 has a slightly thinner sole. Both of them have a really cool design that I love to see in irons, which is a bit of relief from the leading edge here. On some clubs, the leading edge here is just like a sharp knife. When that hits the ground, it's just going to act like a knife basically and cut into the ground. This rounded leading edge here is just going to promote the club going into the ball and then bouncing out of the turf nicely so you're not getting stuck. It's going to glide nicely into the ball. Same on the trail edge as well, which is nice to see. So here's the sole of the P2 with that leading edge relief and trail edge relief here. And then you can see what a traditional blade looks like. It's just a really thin sole with no relief here. It's just a sharp edge on both sides. Not very forgiving at all, but I like that the P2 isn't super thick. It's roughly the same size, just a little bit thicker than mine, but just with those little design aspects is really nice. So finally, I'm going to hit my own clubs, these blades, and immediately behind the ball, that is just tiny. It's a really intimidating shape. Not for everyone. The amount of amateurs I've seen that rock up with a blade or something that isn't really designed for their handicap, it's not making the game easy. So we'll give this a hit and see what the difference is. Yeah, straight away, it's just so much harder to hit. So it's a good result. It's 155 carry, probably a little bit low for me still, but if you don't hit them out of the center every time, you're not going to get any carry at all. Same height, same club speed, and then the carry is just about 5 meters less than the P2. So it's taken me a few attempts to get the same sort of distance out of the P2 and the P1 with the same height, the same club speed, but you can see it's just gone a little bit right. Like the control isn't really there with this, whereas I can kind of step up without a warm up with the P1 and the P2 and just give them a pretty average sort of a swing, and they can give me something that I can really use on the golf course. So overall, if you're a 0 to 15 handicap, you could use this, the P2 from Punters. It's just a good shape, good size, a lot of workability, still a lot of forgiveness as well. And if you're a beginner golfer, you're an older person or someone looking to get a bit more distance, ladies, kids, anyone like that could use the P1 iron, the game improvement iron from Punters. Lots of different options when you purchase these with shafts. So yeah, you should be able to find the right fit for you. And that wraps up my Trackman review with the Punters P1 and P2 irons. It's good work from the boys. It's good to see an Aussie brand really putting the work in to make a quality product for a lot of different golfers here. There is a fitting quiz online. You can make sure you know which one you want to get. Head to the Punters website, check them out.